Boom! We are live, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's your boy Nolan Hawkeye Anthony here, and I hope you guys are having a fantastic Saturday wherever you may be and however you may be listening. The Iowa Hawkeyes picked up the 34-3 victory. I'm getting blown up left and right here. It was a magical performance, for the most part, magical. Very fun game to watch, especially the first one. It's the first of two that most of us have been talking about in Iowa Hawkeye land, how important these first two games have been. But before we go anywhere, I want to introduce my partner in crime, Dean Freen. Dean, how you doing, partner?
I'm doing great. How could you not be good? We got the win against Indiana and we blew them out of there.
And I was thinking about getting to this a little bit later, but we can just get into it a little bit now. Wisconsin lost as well. And Iowa now is the full game ahead of Wisconsin. And that's a big deal. I mean, literally every single year, the whole thing, the whole enchilada is decided by, one game. And so that is great. Dean, I'm just going to flip it over to you while I share this link on Facebook. What were some of your initial thoughts on this 34-3 performance by the Iowa Hawkeyes? Talk to me.
Okay, so when Tyler gets off of that 57-yard run, I thought, man, that's going to be a huge day for Tyler Goodson. And as it turned out, that was his best run of the day.
Yeah.
He did get kind of stuck a little bit here and there. He did get 99 yards. I wish they'd have left him in there for one more play so he could have got 100.
Me too. I was like, why not? He's at 99. And don't think they don't have people tracking that, because they do. Trust me.
Yeah. So, yeah. And then the Riley Moss pick six. I mean, this, for the second score right after that. I mean, how could you not get excited about that pick six right away? And
it was awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
He had two on the day, by the way.
He did have two pick sixes on the day. He would probably be the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week. If he's not, then he got robbed.
Yeah, no doubt about it. What else did you like about the game? Talk to me.
Okay, I love the defense. The defense was flying all over the place today. I mean, they did give up a few plays here and there, but, Iowa's defense, they kept him in front. They didn't give up any huge chunk of yards, so they kept him in front of them. And so I thought that was good. The defense, I actually believe, saved the game. I don't think we needed all those points. We could have just got by on the fourth.
We could have just had 10 points, Dean. We would have been A-okay, huh?
Right. But I will say, and I know we're going to bring this up, is I just thought that offense was about as ugly as it could get. And I'm not putting this on Spencer Petrus, because I thought his balls were there. Yeah, I thought they were in the arms of these guys, and plus the O-line didn't give him a whole lot of time. He was being hurried and forced out of the pocket quite a bit. So
yeah, I had a friend over, and every time they came and watched the game for a little bit, they noticed a sack, and the second time that they came over, they're like, "Ooh, that's something that's gonna have to be worked on." And I would, at first I was like, don't talk bad about my Hawkeyes. You don't even, you're not a Hawkeye fan. What do you know? But then I was thinking about it, and, that's probably right. It's something that I had not taken note of, quite yet. But yeah, I think you're right. He did not have a lot of time. But yeah, I'm curious what you thought about Spencer Petrus's performance. Continue.
Okay. Although he has some ugly stats, his stats are ugly, about as ugly as they can get. I think he finished the game with about 40% passing.
Yeah.
But like I said, if you figure in all the passes that were dropped, that were in the hands of receivers and just plain drop that they should have had, he probably picks up another 5 or 6 completions.
Yeah. Where, on the flip side, Michael Penick, I was not impressed one bit, by the way, folks, not at all. He was throwing the ball all over the place. It was quite ugly.
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. We have a way of making so-called quarterbacks like that look ugly.
Look really good. Yeah.
And he also, I'm surprised he didn't use his feet more during this game. I think that's got to be, because of his knee
or Iowa's defense. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things, because it has to be his knee, because, there's a couple times where I thought he could have just took off and ran for a first down, and
right.
Instead he throws an interception.
Yeah.
He threw 3 interceptions, and he had 3. There were 3 in the hands of other defenders today. That he could have easily given up 6 interceptions.
Jack Kerner had 2 that he just dropped.
Yeah, so Riley Moss missed the 3rd one.
Yes, he did. You're right. He did. And I'm glad you brought that up. I'm going to put the stats in the background here for you guys to see on YouTube. But for people that listen to this on Anchor or SoundCloud, I prefer you listen to it on Anchor because that helps me and my partner out here. But here are some of the stats real quick. Let's just run through them. Spencer Petrus, 13 of 27 for 145 yards. Alex Padilla got in there, which we can talk about. Tyler Goodson, 19 carries for 99 yards and 1 touchdown. Ivory Kelly Martin, 8 carries for 44 yards. I thought Ivory Kelly Martin ran pretty good, whereas Tyler Goodson, and they both had the fumble. That's important to note. Tyler Goodson, in all honesty, I was not keyed in on Tyler Goodson's performance, but it did seem perhaps that outside of that big run early, that the in-between stuff, Ivory Kelly Martin perhaps had a tiny better day, but I'm not willing to die on that hill. Tyrone Tracy, 2 for 14. And we'll stop there. Sam Laporta, 5 receptions, 83 yards. I told y'all this guy was primed for a big year. Every time we talked about Sam Laporta, that's what guys, he plays for the best school at producing tight ends, and he's been a starter for 2 years now. He's ready to be a big dog, and he played like it today. Nico Regani, a.k.a. Nico Raggiani, with 2 receptions for 21 yards. Tyrone Tracy, 2 for 15. Wasn't great. Luke Lackey, a.k.a. Luke Lachey, 1 reception for 15 yards. And Charlie Jones, who got injured, 1 reception for 2 yards, but had a pretty good night returning, averaging 28.5 yards. And Caleb Shudak, 2 for 2 on field goals. And Troy Taylor balled out today, averaging 49.5 yards punting. So
wait a minute, though.
Yeah,
Caleb Shudak. How do we know that he wasn't 6 for 6?
What do you mean? He
okay,
kicked 2 field goals.
Well, yeah, okay. The 3 that were called as he kicked them, the 3 timeouts that were called as he kicked them. Right. Yeah. We don't even know if those went through or not.
But it was good. But Dean, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about this. And I've already said this in the pregame video. Oh, by the way, Dean, I deleted the preview video I did on Monday. I was trying to delete a different video. That kind of sucks, but it is what it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it is what it is. But I would be remiss if I didn't talk about this. Guys, the energy, this is what it's all about. The energy that was in that game. This is why being alive is so amazing. When Iowa was coming out of the stadium, I was getting goosebumps. I felt so good. And that feeling is what you remember and feel during the week when you're waiting for the game to start. It was incredible. And I want you folks to remember that, because I think we all think that, it's just a given that we get to live like this, and it's not. It's a long way of me saying, just remember the feeling. And it was an awesome experience. And I'm so glad that we are back to this. Anyways, Dean, yeah, the passing game, going back to Spencer Petrus here real quick. I thought he had an okay game. I don't think that the stats that he was as bad as the stats indicate. There were drops. Sam Laporta had one that I can remember.
He had 2 that I remember.
So let's put him down for 2. But overall, he had a good day. But Tyrone Tracy, very quiet, and they tried to get him going. Not a ton, but they did, get him involved in the run game, and they tried to get him going. I don't want to overreact. It's the first game, offensively, but it is important to note that Iowa only scored 6 points in the second half. That is important to note. Mm-hmm. And the other 14 points that Iowa scored came from the defense. Now, that's Iowa football. Iowa football is complementary football. Iowa does not rely on one side or another. If they do, it's more defense. And I expect the defense to play like this overall. And you and I both know, Dean, that ultimately Iowa's offense only needs to really shine, 2-3 times a year. So there were some good things offensively that I saw. Sam Laporta, but overall, I was expecting Tyrone Tracy to have a better day. Tyler Goodson ran the ball for 100 yards. Let's give him 100. Let's round up one more yard. Give him 100.
Yeah, there you go.
Because honestly, the referees called him. They kind of screwed him on a few of his runs with the line to gain. So there were a few good things there. What did you think of Spencer Petrus's performance on the day and the offense's performance?
Overall, Spencer did fine. He did have a couple of those hurries where he had to throw him out of bounds, where he had to throw the ball out of bounds.
Yeah.
And so that hurt. Did he get called for an intentional ground? No, he didn't. I'm sorry. They talked about it, but he didn't. A couple other times the only bad throw I saw him actually make was the one where he threw it in the dirt in front of his player because he got in a hurry, and I don't know why he did, because there was nobody chasing him. He went out of the pocket, rolled to his left, and he was wide open. He could have actually used his legs and picked up the first down, but he threw it in the dirt to one of his receivers. I don't remember which one. So that was like the only bad throw I could remember him actually having. I remember the other ones being right on point.
Yeah, I would agree with Spencer. I said this in the first half. He kept going forward when he would pump fake. I didn't love that. Mm-hmm. Usually you want to be twitchy with your shoulders. That's what my water polo coach taught us. That's why, you don't come all the way forward, because it takes a lot of energy and wasted motion. But yeah, overall, I was okay with it. Here's the thing. Last year, I beat the drum that all the hashtag quarterback guys on defense is just that good. I don't know for sure, but I was not impressed. Really quickly, Alex Padilla. I was happy that he got in. I don't want a quarterback controversy because I think Spencer is the guy. But Alex gets in and he trips or whatever the heck happened twice and only gets one actual playoff. So we didn't even get to see Alex Padilla in action. I was kind of upset about that. What do you think Spencer was thinking on the sidelines? Do you think he was genuinely like, let's go, dude, you got this? Or he was like, ooh, good. He fell over.
No. You can just tell from the interview, Spencer was pulling for him and was probably felt bad that he had a couple of those missteps.
Probably, yeah.
But the thing is we left Spencer in too long. You
think so? Okay.
I can understand why they probably left him in, because they want to get him more in continuity and probably in the flow and more in sync with his players.
Yeah.
I can understand that part. But also you got to get your number 2 ready, because, number 2 is one play away from going in. And, with 8 minutes to go, the game was well in hand. They weren't going to mount a 4-touchdown
position. Do you think, and it's likely Justin Britt is the odd man out here, do you think that when Kyler Schott comes back, that they go back to Kyler Schott, or do you think that they stay with
ready for Maryland? Yep. Because I think they definitely want him a full goal for Maryland. They won't.
Full go, baby. Full go.
Yeah, he won't. obviously he won't be ready for Iowa State. It'd be nice if he could, because we could use him.
Yeah.
But
so
yeah,
go
I
ahead,
think
Dean.
they'll hold him out of Kent State the following week, even if he's ready, and then just kind of use him in spot duty against Colorado State, and then full go against Maryland.
Yeah, I think obviously it's too early, but yeah, you're right. Usually, unless it's Alaric Jackson or Tristan Wirfs, usually they just work him back in on spot duty. Mm-hmm. And the bottom line is, if Justin Britt and Cody Entz are getting the job done, I think they'll keep him in there, because Kyler Schott, even though he's good, he's not Tyler Linderbaum, folks. I mean, he's just not. So we'll see. Here's the scores here. Nebraska took care of Fordham. The fate I put out on Facebook, how widely correct I was that that Nebraska was struggling, which they were, but things changed very quickly, and that game turned around. Probably the most important game out in the Big Ten outside of Indiana and Iowa was Penn State versus Wisconsin, and Penn State got that victory. I haven't watched the highlights for that game yet, so I can't say how Wisconsin looked or how Penn State looked, but I can say that Graham Mertz is not the world beater everybody was making him out to be since week 1 of last year. Mm-hmm. So Iowa is a full game ahead in the Big Ten West. That is very important. And if they lose to Iowa State next week, which I'm not saying will happen, because last I checked, Iowa State was only up on Northern Iowa by 3 points.
It's 6 now.
6 points now.
With about 2 minutes to go in the game. I've got an update here.
With 2 minutes to go, and we'll keep you updated on this. Man, would that be incredible if Northern Iowa was willing or could pull that out. But it's important, guys, that Iowa has the full game. Michigan beat Western Michigan. Oregon State is up on Purdue. And Maryland pulled out the victory on West Virginia. And I got to say, that's a pretty big win for Maryland. It's not the biggest win, Dean, but it is. It's a good win. It's against a Power 5 team. West Virginia is usually a good team. So it is a decently important win. Dean, the only other thing that I can think of right now, immediately after this game, massive victory for the Hawkeyes. They win by almost 30 points against a ranked Indiana opponent. I think Iowa might get into the top 10 next week. I really do. It might be too far to climb, but from week 1 to week 2, there's always a few teams that because of one victory, they just leap everybody. Right. Because the win that they had was so strong and so solid that everybody's like, either way, they are this good, and that's where they put them. I think they might go top 10. What do you think, Dean?
I don't know about top 10, but they're going to get close, because they're going to jump Indiana. They got to jump Wisconsin. So both of those teams lost.
Ooh, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Okay, so we're going to jump both of those in the polls.
I think they might jump Penn State too, maybe, because that was only a 6-point win whereas Iowa beat Indiana by 30 almost.
Yeah, Wisconsin and Penn State, they can either say that both those teams are really so good, that's the reason why the game they did, or they're both so bad. That's how it went. I don't know. I don't know how to look at that game, because on paper they're supposed to be pretty strong teams. So I don't know how to take that game. But
well, I'll say this, Dean. That I'm not. My predictions, and so do you guys, I suppose. But Penn State was not good last year, plain and simple. And I was looking at Sean Bach and David Eicholt's predictions for Iowa, and one of them, David Eicholt, had Iowa going 10-2, and Sean Bach had Iowa going 9-3, losing to Iowa State, losing to Penn State, and losing to Wisconsin. They both had Iowa losing to Wisconsin. Maybe that pick's not looking so smart now, but the reason why I bring that up here is, for me, I've had Iowa number 1 okay, in the Big Ten West.
Mm-hmm.
I never saw a reason, and so did Dean, actually. I never saw a reason to put Iowa behind Wisconsin. They beat the living crap out of them last year. I didn't see, and you could blame it on injuries, fine. But were the injuries that important to make up for a 30-plus point defeat to Iowa? I don't think so. And same thing with Penn State. So in my eyes, Wisconsin and Penn State were both in the 20 to 25 range with maybe even a little bit outside that, with room to show us how good they actually are. So I don't know, Dean. You're right. It could be that they're both mediocre. Oh, by the way, Michigan State beat Northwestern. What'd you think of that, Dean? Is it too early to say that Northwestern sucks and Michigan State might be good? What are your thoughts on that?
Here's my thoughts. I posted something last night in a group chat with on our 247hawkeye.com page.
Yep.
That I thought
be any better than that. Dean,
I think that would be the ceiling for both teams.
I agree.
Is middle of their divisions. They do have Michigan State does have a nice running back. He went off for like 200 and some odd yards.
Yeah, wow, that's big time. That is big time.
No, he's pretty decent. He transferred in. I can't remember from where, but the thing that the announcer said that Tucker, he cleaned house and he's got 47 new players on the squad this year.
Wow.
Do you realize how many of those are probably transfer portal people?
A lot.
So he built his team this year on transfer portal
from the ground up. And that's actually pretty smart. I'm not going to lie, because when you take over a new team, it's easier now than ever because you can just clean out and start brand new. Real quick, Dean, can you check the score of Iowa State versus UNI?
So don't look for the offense to get things turned around next week, but hey, you never know.
You never know. You never know, baby. You never know. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you guys share this. It's Cyhawk week, baby. We got Iowa versus Iowa State. I'll be dropping the game preview for Iowa versus Iowa State on Monday. And we'll be having our weekly podcast on Wednesday. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys consider hitting that subscribe button. We're almost at 200. I want to be up close to 500 by the time this season's done. Dean, thank you so much for joining me. And be sure to go to 247hawkeye.com. And if you want to support the channel, our PayPal link is in the description. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, DBAP, don't be a pussy willow. And facts or feelings, your feelings don't matter. Love